So I started on YouTube in 2016 and things have changed a little bit, just a little. So today I want to talk about what I would do differently or what I would do now if I were starting a YouTube channel in 2021. And so hopefully these are all things you can take away and say, oh, I am starting a YouTube channel in 2021 and I need to do these things. Hey, howdy, hey, y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jessica Stansberry and I am pumped that you are here. This is the channel where you're gonna learn all the things you need to know about how to grow your brand organically, grow your YouTube channel organically, and, make more money, because isn't that the goal for everybody? I'm in a different spot filming today in the studio. Laura is right back there. Actually, say hi. Hi. Some of you had been commenting like, is Laura a real person? You've talked about her and we've never seen her. She's behind the curtain. I keep her locked in a room. She's not allowed to come out and play. But anyway, I am here filming in my studio today and it feels great to be in here. I'm trying to figure out a solution to film where you can still see my cool sign in the background, but also I get more natural light because I really like the colors and the natural light and I like my black wall, but I really want like the fun colors showing up too. So they're peeping through here. I feel like this is a decent angle. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. So if you're new to starting a YouTube channel, you're probably hearing all kinds of advice like, do this, do that, don't do that, don't do this, don't do this thing. But this person says to do that thing. And it can be really hard to kind of like, get through all of the advice or the things that people tell you not to do and figure out what you should be doing. So when I sat down to think about the topics I wanted to talk about with y'all, I was like, ooh, what if I were starting a YouTube channel completely from scratch? What would I tell myself? What would I tell little baby YouTuber Jessica if she was just starting over again about how she should start on the platform, what she needs, what she should be focused on, and all the things. So yeah, that's what I'm bringing you here in this video. First things first, and I know you've heard this 10,005 times, and that is to niche down. Niche down heavily, especially if you're just getting started. I wish 2021 Jessica could go back until 2015, 2016 Jessica to niche down in like a very small box. I used this example the other day on a podcast interview I did, and I felt like it explained it really well. So I'll just, get weird and share it here too. Essentially, we get really hard on ourselves when we're starting anything and we know we should niche down, but we also get really distracted by the other things we want to talk about or by the other things that other people are doing. But we have to niche to grow, and that's just all there is to it. And the example I used was if you've ever crate trained a puppy. So my parents had dogs in the house growing up, and then I've house trained a few dogs in my adulthood. And one of the things that you'll learn if you ever have crate trained a puppy or you ever go to crate train a puppy is that while we as humans feel bad for locking them in a crate and we feel like they should have all kinds of room, to really get the best experience out of your training and train them quicker, your dog doesn't need a ton of room in a crate to do things. It just needs enough space to be able to turn around and lay down, because if it has too much room, it'll go in one corner and pee, and it'll go over here and lay down. And so we have to confine the dog for it to be able to learn how to be okay in bigger open spaces. And that's exactly what is happening with YouTube channels and with businesses. We have to learn how to do well in this small box. We have to learn how to actually create the content, to actually create things that people want to see, actually learn the SEO and the keywords and all of that. We have to do that in a small arena before we can niche out and be in a bigger one. And so oftentimes we think oh, well, I want to talk about all the things, which, is fine and all, but is actually not fine, because you need to be niched down. You've got to put yourself in a box and put yourself in a fairly small box to grow. So, dear 2016 Jessica, niche down more. Okay. Now, this next tip is kind of fun for me because it is actually what I did back in 2016, and I would still do it to this day. And that is to start with my phone. If I were starting completely from scratch, if I were like, oh my gosh, I have to start over, like I'm starting a brand new channel right now in 2021, I would absolutely not go out and buy the fanciest camera, a mic, like I wouldn't do any of it. I would legit pick up my phone and start filming with that. That is it. Especially now in 2021, these cameras are like magically amazing. I mean, you don't need anything else, and it can do everything you need to do, and the quality of it is amazing. So start with your phone. You don't need the big fancy equipment, and I completely understand. I know. You will feel like you do because you'll start watching all these YouTubers who have this like fancy equipment and these expensive cameras, and they have like lighting hung up in places, and they have, I don't know, a studio and you're like, oh my gosh, I need all of that stuff. And you really, really don't. I swear all you need is your phone, and you can make a great YouTube channel with what you already have in your pocket. Okay, bonus tip. I actually just thought of this one, and it's not in my notes. And so I'm just gonna throw it in here. Essentially, one of the other things that I would do if I were just starting out and I was completely brand new is, in addition to not worrying about the camera equipment or, you know, the lights or whatever, I wouldn't spend hours and hours trying to figure things out that I could just pay somebody really easily and cheaply to do. So like things like how to get an in-screen screen or how to make a channel intro. Like I wouldn't spend the hours to figure it out and to figure out software that I didn't know how to use when I could just go on a site like Fiverr and hire somebody to make the channel intro for me. My husband is literally in this boat. He just started his YouTube channel. Actually, we started it a few years ago and just like randomly don't publish videos to it, but he's just started publishing videos regularly, and he kept saying, I want a channel intro. I want a channel intro. And I kept telling him it wasn't that important, but he really wanted one, and I understand. Get someone to create a channel trailer for my husband's new channel. And so we picked out an After Effects template and we sent it over to someone on Fiverr, and for all of $20, we got back a completely finished, completely customized After Effects template with his video clips in it. It was like super easy. It took no time. $20 is nothing. And if I had it to do over, I would definitely hire things like that out on sites like Fiverr. You can find people to edit for you on Fiverr. You can find people to write blog posts for you on Fiverr. Graphics, anything like that can be done over there, and for really cheap and well done. So that is a quick little bonus tip. In addition to not worrying about the cameras and the lights and all the stuff we don't need to worry about there, I also just wouldn't worry about having to relearn or learn a software or a system or a process that I don't actually have to learn when I could spend $20 and have somebody else do it for me. The next thing that I would do if I were starting completely from scratch and starting over and starting a channel right now is to get super familiar with analytics and how analytics can help me grow. See, the thing is, I didn't know anything about analytics when I started, and most people don't. They're just like, oh, I like to see how many views I get or how many subscribers I have. But knowing the inner workings of the behind the scenes of your analytics and what that means for you, what this analytic means that you could do better, or what that analytic means and how to fix it, is magical when it comes to being successful on the platform. So if I were starting over, I would become a master at analytics probably quicker than I became a master at anything else here on the platform, because I don't think enough people talk about that, and I also don't think enough people tell you that like it is such a big deal, and it will be a big reason why you grow if you understand the inner workings of your YouTube channel. Now, the fourth thing I would get very, very familiar, be an expert at the SEO and keywords and all the things that come along with that. Because when I first started on the platform, I literally just threw videos up on the internet because that was a strategy. And I basically would like film a video that was a similar topic to a blog post I was gonna have going live, and that's what went up on YouTube. And that was it. I didn't check to see how many people searched it or how much competition there was or really anything. And so to do it over, and if I were starting now, I would say, oh my gosh, I have to be an expert at that. I have to learn everything I can about that thing, because that is going to be just amazing for the growth strategy on YouTube, because I will actually know what videos I should be doing and how they're going to rank and how I can make them work for me. Okay, last thing, and this is really important. I also think it's something that people either do from the beginning or they completely leave out, especially if you're doing like how-to and talking head videos like this one. It can be really easy to forget to do this, and that is to put your personality in your channel and in your videos from the very beginning. And not only your personality, but to also put personal pieces into your videos. So for the majority of my career here on YouTube, I've filmed talking head videos just like this one, like where you're like all up in my space and all I'm doing is talking to you with my head. And that's fine, and it gets you the answer to your question, right? Like if you're Googling how to start a YouTube channel and you find a video and I'm just talking head and spitting facts at you, then it totally answers your question. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't build a relationship. It doesn't cause you to want to come back every week. It doesn't cause you to want to watch videos that you don't think you care about the topic of, but you like me. It doesn't cause that relationship to happen. So if I were doing this all over again, I would start incorporating the personal pieces and the personality from the very beginning. I wouldn't change the way I did my channel because I do how-to and educational videos, and that's great, but I would absolutely change the fact that like I randomly show you like my dog, or I, throw in my personality, or I say, that's what she said joke. I would absolutely be infusing that in from the very beginning. For me, I just didn't do that, and it took me a little while to kind of start bringing in my personality, and then it took even longer for me to start like putting personal pieces into the video and showing you things like going to pick up my neon sign, or Laura, or my kids, or whatever, because those things are important. Whether or not they're relevant to the video is completely irrelevant. Like the fact that I'm a real human, that I have kids that like stand at my door while I'm filming videos and wait for me to get done and are in the background, or the fact that I'm like, going somewhere and getting a neon sign, or the fact that whatever, like it's all part of what makes me human. And I think so often we forget that, especially if we're doing talking head videos. And the thing is, if you're starting a YouTube channel and you're starting as like a vlogger, right? Like you're starting from the beginning showing your personality and the person behind it because you're vlogging, and that literally is, your life, then you still need this tip. You still need to think about how you can do this in a way that causes people to come back every week. Coming back every week is a big deal, and coming back every video is a big deal, and we've got to figure out a way to get people to do that. Okay, so if I were starting over, if I were starting a channel right now, those are the things I would focus on. The niche, not getting caught up in the equipment I need or the lighting or any of that. I would get my butt in front of a window with my iPhone, not my literal butt, because that would be a different kind of channel. But I would get myself in front of a window with my iPhone, and I would get super familiar with analytics and SEO so that I actually could grow my channel. And then I would really start to pull in the personality from the very beginning. Until next time, go forth with spunk, hustle, and grit, y'all. Bye.